1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel. Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
All right. Hopefully that worked this time. Hello, captains, and welcome to the live broadcast recording of episode 483 of Priority 1. I think we are live now. I think we are now live. I think
I tried to crash his intro, and it just crashed everything.
It really did. It was unbelievable how badly that just crashed everything.
Yeah.
I went to transition scenes in OBS, and it just absolutely crashed. So sorry about that, captains. I'm gonna listen to the stream on Restream. Okay, we're good. Looks good. Sounds good. The only downside of today, for some reason, Restream chat is not working, so I can't see everybody's chat, which kind of stinks. I don't know if it's a known issue with Restream that the chat is just not syncing up. I've tried opening in the browser. I can't see everybody's chat really.
Kat, are you hearing this too? Elio's voice is getting real weird too. It's like you're talking through a pillow or something.
Like I'm talking through a pillow.
Yeah, it's like you're talking through a pillow.
Weird. Yeah, got all muffled.
Yeah. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2 test.
That's better.
That's better.
It's better, but it's not what it's not.
Yes, Jamal agrees. He says you're muffled or underwater. Ken from Chicago says.
It kind of came and went there for a second. It's fine now, but it was.
I think it's my connectivity, man. I think that's just like my connection tonight.
Okay. Oh.
I hate Comcast, man. I really do.
A lot of people do.
I hate Comcast.
Oh, hey, Ray Boschborg.
Hello, Ray Borg. All right, let's try a show, shall we? Let's do this.
We can do a show.
Let's go at it. I'm going to make sure.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything anymore, right? I can just sit here.
No,
right?
you can legit just sit back, relax.
I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
It's like I'm not even doing a podcast anymore.
No, we're just
I'm good,
hanging
right?
out.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, it's a little lower.
It's not muffled to be a strong word. It was
Less.
It was fold. It was flood. It was flood.
What? What are you saying?
It's just the end of the muffled. You didn't get the full force of the muffled. It's the fold at the end. Kat knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay.
It was applicable.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it described what happened.
You
Yeah.
guys are just nuts. All right. So as
That
you
may
can
be.
see, my friends, the chat on Restream is not populating with your stuff. So, and I can't see it either. So I'm sorry, Kat. Keep an eye on Twitch if you're on it. And,
I am on Twitch. I can read the Twitch chat. So sorry, other
I see
platforms.
folks on Facebook watching. Tracy, if you watched and you said that you love us, thank you. Just in case.
Tracy Lee Coco.
Tracy
We
always says that.
assume. We assume this.
Tracy always shows
Cheers.
up.
We assume Tracy's watching.
So thanks guys. I think that I haven't done anything differently, and the Restream information on the website looks all golden. So my guess is that they must be having some kind of a issue with their chat this week, which is annoying and unfortunate. But it's not a priority one show unless something goes wrong.
Well, technical difficulties. That happens. That happens.
All right, let's do a show, shall we?
Let's.
All right. So, I started recording, and I'm going to record here. And we should all be seeing our countdown, which is delightful. All right, we're recording. So, Tony, or
Yes.
actually, Kat, can you read the cold open this week, please?
Yes.
All right, let's start in 3, 2, 1.
This week on episode 484 of Priority One, we trek out Janeway's Monumental Day, a prodigy composer, Michelle Hurd's reference to Medea, and is it Medea?
Medea.
Medea?
Yeah, Medea.
Okay.
It's Greek.
Curse
And
you,
also,
Tyler
I'm
Perry.
expecting you to be like, itsy bitsy teeny weeny grace printed ship in 3D.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that because I would not have done that.
That would have been her first choice. No. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting here waiting to see whose voice is higher. I'm waiting
Wow.
I'm waiting to see who can get that higher register. I'm not sure Kat can get up that high, man.
Let's just
I'm just waiting to see.
no, there's an unfair advantage
And
because
action.
I have training in falsetto. So
I see. Okay.
Wow.
Challenge to you, Kat, and see if you can get there. See if you can get
Okay. This week on episode 484 of Priority One, we trek out Janeway's Monumental Day, a prodigy composer, Michelle Hurd's reference to Medea, and
I'm sorry, prodigy.
What did I say?
It came out prodigy.
I
oh,
did hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't-
dang
it
it.
didn't register.
D's and G's, they're hard.
They are.
All right. This week on episode 484 of Priority One, we trek out Janeway's Monumental Day, a prodigy composer, Michelle Hurd.
You did it again.
Really? Prodigy?
Prodigy.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Yeah.
Prodigy.
Have another
Well,
Prodigy.
This is my penguins. Like, I can't say that word.
just finish off the glass and you'll be fine. Just finish off.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. There you go.
Good Lord. Okay, well, apparently I can't say this word. This week on episode 484 of Priority One, we trek out Janeway's Monumental Day, a project. Jesus. Now I can't do it. I'm overthinking it.
It's a paradigm shift you're gonna have to do in your head. It's gonna
Shut up.
yeah.
I
Prodigy.
speak 2 languages.
This week on episode 484 of Priority One, we trek out Janeway's Monumental Day,
Wait.
a
No, just pause. Take that pause. Just for a moment, take a pause. It's okay. So now take it from a prodigy composer.
prodigy composer, Michelle Hurd's reference to Medea, and itsy bitsy teeny weeny grayish printed ship in 3D. In Star Trek gaming, we dive even deeper into Star Trek Online's partisans before heading on screen to trek out Far From Home.
Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 484 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. Your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, October 30th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. It's not spooky because we didn't plan ahead. All right. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, October 27th, and shit. This.
Yes, that's yeah. Seems about right. And shit.
They are saying your levels are low still. Just FYI.
I don't know how. I'll figure it out.
Oh, that sounds better.
I didn't touch anything.
Oh, weird. Well, I guess you got closer. I don't know.
This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, October 30th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elio.
I'm Kat.
I'm Tony.
Yeah, I heard that. That was weird.
That did something weird when you said Tony.
So do I need to say, and I'm Tony
do it one
again?
more time and then just
Okay.
jump right in because we don't have any.
Okay. You don't want to banter?
Sure, we can banter.
Well, I'm just asking if you wanted to banter, because
Yeah,
I could
let's
pause
banter. Go ahead,
there.
say
Do you have
I'm
banter? Okay, all right. So then I'll let you banter. Okay, here we go. Get ready. Get ready to banter. Kat, you ready to banter?
I'm ready.
Okay. Elliot. Okay, here we go. And I'm Tony.
So, guys, Halloween's coming up. You got any plans?
No.
No.
None at all.
Wear a mask inside the house. That's
Right.
the extent of Halloween.
And eat all the candy that I bought. And I'll you know what I'll do? I'll put my kids in separate rooms in the house, and I'll knock on their doors, and they can give me the candy.
Yes.
Oh, I wish my dogs would do that, but no.
No.
And if
I'll
anybody...
just
Go ahead.
I'll just be curled up in a ball in my existential crisis.
Yes. And if anybody is crazy enough to knock on my door, I'm going to slingshot them a candy. That's what's going to happen. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, let's go.
I mean, I could leave candy out, but like, who would? I mean, if I was a parent, I wouldn't let my kid be touching strange candy.
I know. But
I
Captains,
mean-
you know what, Captains? I do want to take a moment to remind you to vote. This is the last podcast before election night. And as a matter of fact, yeah, I'm not prepared to make that decision yet, but we'll talk about it later. But Captains...
Oh, right.
Yeah, whether or not we take the night off. Or we can move the show a day. But anywho. Captains, well, Halloween's around the corner, and we understand that this is going to be a much different experience, especially if you have children, or if you're like me, just big kids that like to go out and have some fun. For your own safety, stay home, wear your masks indoors, and be sure to vote. This is the last episode before the United States general election, and if you haven't already, submit your ballot or vote early. It's probably
My sticker's upstairs.
I did. I voted Friday.
Great. I
Me too.
submitted the ballot. I actually went and dropped it off. So now we leave it to the universe. But don't forget, vote and vote early.
Captains, each week between episodes, we love to engage in conversations with you, our listeners, on places like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you aren't already following us on any of those, be sure to look us up. There we post things like community questions, special announcements, and more. Just search for Priority One Podcast on your favorite social media app and you will find us. Or you can email us. Reach out to us at incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com.
Captains, engaging with you is our... Captains, this is a community production, and thankfully, we are being sponsored by Eagle Moss to help support and offset the costs that are involved in producing a weekly show like ours. So, if you are interested in joining the Patreon family, I encourage you to head over to patreon.com/priority1 check out all the awesome perks that we have to offer, including an entirely separate show that we call After Hours, where we dive deeper into episode reviews, the weekly headlines. It's unfiltered, unedited, pure madness. And from time to time,
That's true.
and whenever possible, there's extra perks like early releases of interviews that everyone else has to wait for. So check us out. Again, patreon.com/priority1. And we have to thank a patron because we have a new one, and I need to look it up. I'm sorry.
Well,
Awesome.
okay.
Make good radio.
Thank you, new patron, whoever you are about to be discovered to be soon, as Elio looks that up and retrieves that information.
You know who you are, new
You know who you
patron.
are. You know who you are. We thank you, you person that's out there.
Frank C.
Frank.
Thank you.
Actually, Kat, why don't you say that? And we have a new patron this week. Welcome, Frank, to the family.
Oh, okay. And we have a new patron this week. Thanks so much for subscribing, Frank. We really appreciate your
Wait,
support.
Did we subscribe to Frank, or did Frank subscribe to? There was an.
All right. I was trying to ad lib. I'm really not good at it.
She's not a prodigy.
I'm not. I'm definitely not a prodigy. Prodigy.
Hey!
Oh my god! I do know how to say that word when I don't overthink it.
Oh, you know what, Kat? So you've
Shocking.
got the next thing. You've got the next thing. So
Yeah, I was like, I thought the
Yeah.
next bit.
Yeah. So, Tony,
So
why
you-
don't you say?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, and speaking
Okay.
of patrons, a big shout out to Frank
Right.
C.
And we want to give a big shout out to our newest patron, Frank. Thanks for joining us, Frank. Appreciate your contribution.
Is that it?
I'm done.
Okay.
I don't ad lib for quite as long as Elio. I could wax philosophical and poetic, but I'm not gonna.
Hey, Nick Duguid. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Nick.
All right. But if financial support isn't in the cards, don't forget about sharing our show to all your friends. Hit that like, retweet, and or share button when you come across one of our posts. Or perhaps you'd like to join the team.
Is that me? Okay. No, it's Skippy. But Skippy's not here. That's right, Captains. We are always looking. That's right, Captains. As I've said before, this show is produced much like community theater. We are all passionate Trekkies that lend their talents to this production. And we're so very grateful of that. And we're so very grateful for that. We're always looking for new volunteers to join the production and help continue to produce the quality content you've come to expect each and every week. So we're looking for audio editors. We're looking for live stream technicians. We're looking for graphic artists to help us from week to week, every now and again, with some marketing and promotional materials. We need video editors. So if you have a talent in multimedia, or you're just eager to learn and be a part of our community, then reach out to us. Incoming at priority1podcast.com, or visit our website, priority1podcast.com. Up on top, there's a link that says join the crew, and there's a form that you can fill out. Even if a position is not listed on that webpage and you think that you have something that you'd like to contribute to the show, just fill out the form, let us know how you want to contribute, and I will reach out to you.
Well, now let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse.
Okay, we don't have to hit stop. We can just.
I
keep
was
going.
not. I'm not. I wasn't gonna.
No.
I did look for a button though. I will tell you that
So
reflexively, I kind of like I put my finger on my trackball and kind of went, oh yeah,
What I do want to do is kind of give myself an audio cue for this. Sorry guys, I don't have anything else other than. All right. Hopefully that was enough.
Wow.
There was some
good.
overtones in that one, wasn't there?
You could just say itsy bitsy teeny weeny tiny whiny little whatever. In a really high-pitched
Whatever
voice.
that was.
Yeah, super high pitched voice. Yeah, you can try that.
So trek it out in 3, 2. It was a cool, cloudy Saturday morning in Bloomington, Indiana. The spectators would have huddled closer were it not for the virus, the pandemic. But they gathered nonetheless, mindfully social distancing and donning the standard facial accoutrement. How did I get accoutrement and not what was that word? Not prodigy.
No, that's my word.
Paradigm.
How
Paradigm.
was I able to read accoutrement and not paradigm?
Accoutrement is fancier.
G's are hard. I mean, you never know when there's not a hard G.
Right, like like gifts.
Don't start.
Yeah.
What kept them warm and brisk? What kept them warm? That right? What kept them all warm and brisk? That brisk.
No.
What kept them warm that brisk morning wasn't coats or capes or coffee. It was hope. Though, to be fair, the coats, capes, and coffee probably did help. On Saturday, October 24th, the Janeway Bloomington Collective unveiled the reason for the gather. On Saturday, October 24th, the Janeway Bloomington Collective unveiled the reason for the gathering, the Captain Catherine Janeway Monument and Statue. We told you about the fundraiser back in January, but here's a brief recap. The Captain Janeway Bloomington Collective fundraised for a proposed Captain Janeway statue and plaque to be erected at her fictional birthplace, Bloomington, Indiana. The unveiling featured, quote, a bronze sculpture atop a limestone base, plated in steel, as well as an accompanying educational display. As well as an accompanying educational display was designed to serve as a monument to Captain Janeway, end quote. But what would the party be without the Captain of Honor? It'd be like a nebula without coffee. So it was good that Captain Janeway herself, Kate Mulgrew, joined the unveiling via the magic of internet. She shared that she is a first-time grandmother, thanked the attendees, and then she dished a bit about what brought her to the upcoming Star Trek Prodigy. Here's that sound bite.
Here's the quote. Quote.
Right.
End quote.
Oh, darn it, I didn't get the quote. All right,
Oh.
Captain,
You didn't get the
trust us
quote.
Trust us that I didn't get the... I thought I downloaded it and I didn't. Oh, wait, I did download it. Hold on.
I got it. It's in the thing.
No, I know, but I didn't download it.
Pithy Janeway quote.
I'm on my virtual machine doing the live stream here. So, all right, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Well, frankly, the negotiations took...
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, it's echoey. It's very echoey. There's
We
some.
won't do that.
There's echoey.
That didn't work.
Yes.
That didn't work.
End quote.
End quote. End quote.
42 seconds of Kate Mulgrew. There, just
22
picture it.
seconds of Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine if you will.
All
Right.
You can watch the full unveiling by following the link in our show notes. You know, I like that some of these little things happen across the globe, right? I think it's just fun, and it's just a moment of like forgetting everything else that's happening and uniting in celebration for something that's not even real. But, you know, it's better than some other monuments.
It'll probably attract more tourists than the giant ball of twine in the middle of Kansas. I'm pretty sure that Bloomington, Indiana's got a better thing going here with that. So
I think it's nice. I mean, I'd rather see statues of fictional characters than real people that kind of suck.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They had several sponsors, including our sponsor, Eagle Moss, Hero Collector.
Oh, very
They
nice.
contributed to it, and I'm playing a little montage of all the unveiling and setting it up. And I've got to say that the monument looks pretty good. It's not like Lucille Ball, that first statue of Lucille Ball that was put up in New York or wherever she was from. I forget.
It does look really nice. I mean, looks good. I'd go see that if I was anywhere near Bloomington, Indiana.
Right.
All the good captains come from the Midwest.
it's true. Got your Iowa, got your Indiana. Where's Archer supposed to be from?
Oh. Mm-mm.
Yeah, nobody
From
cares.
Alaska.
Was he? No, that was
Yeah.
Frank. That was Riker, right?
Yeah, Riker. That's
Yeah.
what I said, Riker. Yeah. It's like I've known people from Alaska. They're like a different breed. They're like an entirely different thing. Yeah.
All right, we can move on to that stuff.
Speaking of Prodigy, Star Trek's newest animated series is looking or sounding like it's coming together. This week, another piece of the proverbial puzzle has been added. The series theme has a composer. The Film Music Reporter announced on Tuesday, October 20th, that Israeli-Dutch composer Nami Melumad would compose for the anticipated new series Star Trek. Now you got me doing it.
Prodigy.
Would compose for the anticipated new series Star Trek Prodigy. The 31-year-old Melumad's recent work includes composing for Seth Rogen's American Pickle, the Amazon series Absentia, and Star Trek Short Trek's Q&A, the one with Spock and Number 1 rockin' the Pirates of Penzance. According to the article, Q&A isn't Melumad's only Star Trek association. Quote, Melumad has also recently collaborated with Michael Giacchino.
Still said corroborated.
Corroborated. Okay, so we got Prodigy, corroborated, and whatever it was that you messed up. Accoutrement. That wasn't a mess up, though. That was right. That was right. Yeah. Paradigm. Melumad has also recently collaborated with Michael Giacchino on the score for the upcoming video game Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which is set to be released on December 11th, 2020. End quote. Giacchino, of course, is the composer of the Kelvin Timeline films and the director of the short Trek F-Frame and Dot, the one with the tardigrade, and a robot rocking the history of the Enterprise. Trek Nuggets.
I'm cutting that. Oh,
you should.
He made you say it. He still made you say it.
I said it. It's on the copy. It's on the copy.
Clearly not meant for you to say out loud, but he made you say it.
It's in the copy, and I read it with the disdain that it deserves, Jake. Trek Nuggets.
This is great. I mean, first of all, she's a talented composer, and I am eager to hear what she does with Prodigy and that theme music. Theme music, especially for Star Trek, really sets up the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. When Star Trek 6, I left the theater and I went home, and Mom said, "How was the movie?" And I'm like, "It was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it." I hated the music.
Right.
It was just, I did not like it. It just
Really?
that just soured. Yeah, it just soured.
For Undiscovered Country?
It's grown on me since then, but it wasn't a Star Trek theme, and I feel the same way about the Discovery theme. Really like the Lower Decks theme. Really like the Lower Decks.
I like the Discovery theme. Of course, hate the Enterprise theme, but who doesn't?
Well, yeah. Nobody likes that one.
Thank you, Netflix, for skip intro. It's the best thing ever. All right. Lower Decks wrapped. Discovery is airing. Prodigy has a new composer, but what about Picard? This week, Star Trek Picard star Michelle Hurd sat down with Inverse, and she shed some light on Picard's production timetable and, more importantly, on her character Rafi. In regards to when she plans on getting back on set, Hurd told Inverse's Jen Glennon, quote, "I believe we're going to be back in January. That's the last thing I heard, so we're really excited about that. We just want to make sure that everybody's safe and the protocols are in place so that we keep our captain as safe as we possibly can," end quote. Hurd compared her character Rafi's journey and rejections to that of tragic Greek character Medea. It's a Medea. Is it Greek?
No,
then
Medea.
Is it? I
Yeah,
thought that was
Medea.
Okay. Hurd compared her character Rafi's journey and rejections to that of tragic Greek character Medea. Quote, "When Rafi makes that call to Starfleet, the last line of her friend saying, 'Do me a favor, lose my number.' That's another door that's closed. This comes right after her son rightly tells her, 'You don't get to be absent from the majority of my life, then jump in saying you're better,'" end quote. Hurd went on to say, quote, "The truth is that everybody's story may not be as happy as we assume. People struggle, and we should take the time to have more patience and empathy for people who are hiding their pain. I loved that juxtaposition of Rafi being very blunt, clever, dramatic, and fun, when the reality was it was just a facade," end quote. Hurd later discussed the budding relationship of Rafi and Seven, telling Inverse, quote, "I'd love to see a fluidity to the relationship. It's about connection, seeing someone, hearing someone, allowing those people to affect us, and acting upon that without judgment, without labels, without stigma. I have no idea exactly what will be happening in the future for Rafi and Seven, but I really have faith in what the writers... But I really have faith in the writers and their vision. I would really love to see that relationship taken to a place where that love is explored, embraced, and celebrated. End quote. Oh.
Now, Elio, you had several big problems with Raffi in Picard. Does this quote change anything for you? New dimensions?
No, I mean, it's one thing to want to compare to older, classical characters. Sure, some of the best stories still live in those original plays and scripts, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't fall upon the creators and the visionaries of the updated version to be a little more inventive with how they approach it. I don't care who you want to be. I don't care if you want to compare yourself to Medea, to Lady Macbeth. It doesn't. I really doesn't bother. I don't care. Her character in the season 1 of Picard was glorified for her addiction, and not just glorified in the not just glorifying the addiction, but also encouraged. Right? She lost that friend there, and Captain Picard collapsed as if though I don't know. I have a lot. I don't want to. I don't want to.
You want to rehash? I'm just wondering if it changed your mind about anything.
No,
I guess
not
no.
Really, not really.
Okay.
It's 2020. Okay. It's 2020, and we don't. We shouldn't be glorifying these things. We should be talking about how people pull themselves out of these dark places to improve their lives and improve just their lives. Forget relationships with everybody else. Whatever. Just improve their own individual lives. So yeah. Great. You got me talking. I don't have to read the next thing.
I could take it if you'd rather I just take it. Okay, all right. Okay, Voyager's cool, but have you ever seen a self-propelled micro Intrepid class ship? That's exactly what PC Gamer brought us this week, and it's just too damned cute not to share. But also, science. When we say tiny, we mean tiny. The 3D printed Intrepid class vessel measures a mere 15 micrometers. That's about 0.0006 inches for our stubborn non-metric users. Teeny tiny. But why would anybody want to 3D print such an itsy bitsy teeny tiny starship? Well, the obvious answer, of course, is artificial microswimmering, which is a real scientific term that we made here at the show. From the PC Gamer article, artificial microswimmers are, quote, 3D printed synthetic colloidal particles, which are solid objects suspended in liquid, and I'm not making that up. They have no moving parts, but instead they propel themselves through liquid by way of chemical reaction, platinum that reacts with hydrogen peroxide, end quote. So now that we know what a microswimmer is, why would we bother making them? Researcher Daniela Kraft explains that the research with these artificial microswimmers could help us better understand biological microswimmers like white blood cells, sperm, and bacteria. For a look at the Micro Voyager as well as a tug called Benchy, check out the link in our show notes.
Science!
It's tiny, and it does look like the Voyager. If you go check out the article, the Star Trek nerds people are inheriting the Earth, one science lab at a time.
That was pretty nice. Definitely looked exactly like Voyager. Haha, Panda. He says Game Print really out there flexing their 3D ship print skills.
No. They got it all wrong. The Game Print guys want you to buy the big models. What are you? They're doing it all wrong. You're shrinking them down that small.
Micro machines, right?
Right. Micro machines.
I think I have a micro machine. I do. Isn't this a micro machine?
I don't know. I just see booze on that shelf. Oh.
How do you just see booze? Oh,
is there booze?
Kirk.
Oh. I'm like, I
booze,
just...
right?
Yeah, I'm like, I go to the most important thing on that shelf.
There's a big bottle of booze there, yeah.
James T. Kirk.
Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to trek out this week. Now let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming.
Cool. All right. Nice thing. We don't have to stop. We don't have to.
Oh my god, this is so much easier.
I just don't feel like this. It's like I'm not even doing a show.
I'm so scared right now.
You should be. Like we could lose it all.
Yeah, you guys that are watching this live, it might be.
You might be the only ones to get this episode.
Yeah.
It could be. Could be scary.
Don't you feel lucky out there now?
All right, I gotta do my tonal thing. 3, 2. All right.
If this has been an actual emergency, the scene you just heard. Yeah. It's been an actual podcast.
The latest episode in the Klingon Civil War. All right, let me move this window just a little bit better. The latest episode in the Klingon Civil War arc, Partisans, picks up sometime after the disastrous Kittimer Conference. I have a feeling I should drink some water before I go into a Klingon discussion.
What's the Klingon thing you said? Was it Malachor? Malakath? What did you... Malachi?
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek?
Melchizedek.
No, that wasn't
It was Melchizedek. I remember.
It
was Melchnezer.
Melchnezer. Yeah, Melchnezer. That's in a Catholic thing. I remember that's from Mass.
No, Nebuchadnezzar. So I had combined
Melchizedek
I had combined Melchizedek with the
Nebuchadnezzar from got it.
Matrix, and then
Melchnezer, right? Okay. Drink Matrix reference. Drink.
Drink. All right. The latest episode in the Klingon Civil War arc, Partisans, picks up sometime after the disastrous Kittimer Conference. Adetpa works her witchy ways on Ja'ula's behalf, digging up a ragtag team of scoundrels with hearts of latinum and very particular sets of skills. You son of a bitch, I mean.
Oh, gee.
Oh my god, we have to use that. Somebody, whoever's editing Stone has got to pull that clip from
Rick and Morty.
Together, you venture deep into Jimpok's web of conspiracies to clear your name and discover some fascinating new opportunities in pet ownership along the way. Let me re-deliver that. Together, you venture deep into Jimpok's web of conspiracies to clear your name and discover some fascinating new opportunities in pet ownership along the way. But the fight for truth, justice, and to remain Klingon goes disastrously well. And what you break might... Oh, wait. Yeah. And what you break might never be destroyed. I'm going to read that one. But the fight for truth, justice, and to remain Klingon goes disastrously well. And what you break might never be restored. I hope I bring life to your words, Thomas, because
they're good words.
They're good words.
It's good copy. It's good copy, Thomas.
I hope as you hear us reading it, it brings you joy.
Mad skills, man. In terms of mission structure, Partisans is familiar and unfortunately repetitive. Ground combat is favored over space, which makes sense for character-centric stories that take place in a few locations. However, the fights in both environments get tiresome as you protect NPC X from infinite waves of enemy Y while they do plot thing Z. The bar fight on Nimbus feels even longer as it lacks a clear endpoint. And then all of a sudden, oops, all Nausicaans. Consider playing this mission in a team with AoE and control powers so you can quicker pick off the enemies that won't acknowledge your aggro.
Production values are likewise familiar following the overall improvement we've seen since Victory is Life. The voice acting quality varies between decent and excellent, with show characters turning in professional work and others sincerely trying their best. Whether Williams' heavy southern drawl works for you or not depends more on personal taste than strength of performance. And we have to call it...
Wait. It's Wilkins.
Wilkins.
Yep, sorry. That's Wilkins. Not Williams. All right.
Whether Wilkins' heavy southern drawl works for you or not depends more on personal taste than strength of performance. And we have to call out the impact And we have to call out the impact of Weston's animation work in making collections of polygons look alive.
But what of the story itself? Star Trek Online's writing has always been one of its strengths, and Partisans is bookended with particular excellence. Opening the mission in Shangdu reinforces the permanence of this world with its minigun-wielding dancers and pet vibrasaurs. Is that a word? What are those things?
Vibriosaurs?
Vibriosaurs?
I'm going to say
Squamous. I'm like, my buddy, Squamous.
I'm going to say vibriosaurs.
I think it's pronounced paradigm.
Okay. Opening the mission in Shangdu reinforces the permanence of this world with all its minigun-wielding dancers and pet vibriosaurs. It is. Okay, thank you, Panda.
What?
Vibriosaurs. Vibriosaurs. Okay, you're right. Opening the mission in Shangdu reinforces the permanence of this world with all its minigun-wielding dancers and pet vibriosaurs. These locations exist with their own positions and trajectories, even though we're not there to observe them. Besides, everyone loves a good bar fight.
On the other end, the narrative swerve into an Imperial free-for-all is intriguing and devastating. You might have expected Ja'ula's broadcast to draw the final battle lines as the great houses finally choose sides in the fight for the Empire's soul. Instead, it precipitates a rush for the exit Instead, it precipitates a rush for the exits, with every house for themselves and Gempok's ambitions vaulting ever higher. That's not the outcome we're expecting, but as contentiously fractured as Klingon society is, could it really have gone any other way?
Just as much a surprise is Ja'ula's transformation from a menacing figure into a tragic one. She's a violent
Anachronism.
She's a violent anachronism, fighting for a worldview centuries behind us. Yet, we pity her for her success, as her good intentions destroy the unity her brother died to create. Whether you yourself are Klingon or just an interested observer, the designated empire has no safe harbors.
Disintegrated.
Whether you yourself are Klingon or just an interested observer, the disintegrated empire has no safe harbors. Only knives wherever you turn. Partisans gives us no rock, no hiding place, and nowhere to stand in the coming storm. It is profound and staggering, and we can't wait to see what happens next.
I kind of like they go back to places. Right?
Oh man, can we get Shangdu as a ground? I would love to just be able to go in there and then start a bar fight. It's pretty awesome.
You know, so it's not a surprise that I haven't played Star Trek Online in a long time, right? We hadn't been covering it, and I hadn't been playing it. And I enjoyed it because it was soon after I had finished the last featured episode that had been released whilst I wasn't playing. So what tends to happen is that when they release these featured episodes so far apart, I tend to forget, right? Like, I don't really think back, and I don't feel like I have an incentive to replay it. Like, it's not like an episode of a show that I might kind of rewatch before the new season starts or something. So I'm glad that I experienced this arc closer together than having to wait several months apart. But, you know, I've got to say, for a ground mission, or for a majority ground mission, I was entertained, you know? I was really entertained, and the southern draw, you know, was interesting. There was a moment where she says, "Oh, my hacker finger is busted," or something, and I was really hoping. Yeah, she said, she was like,
splinter in her hacker finger.
I can't use my hacker finger because I got a splinter or something. And I was really hoping she'd just say something like, "There's a snake in my boots." You know, like, that's what I was really going for.
I mean, all right. That was pretty awesome.
So, you know, Star Trek Online is great at this storytelling, right? Great at these featured episodes and, you know, expanding the lore where the comics don't, or where we just don't see on screen. And I liked that Ja'ula's narrative switched. I did. I enjoyed it. I liked that she went from being the villain to being actually the one that is in fact trying to unify the Empire again.
Villains with an agenda of their own that isn't, take over the universe, they're always the better ones. And giving them dimension and personality always is a better bet. So, yeah, please keep doing that.
Well, yeah, you always like to see people's motivations. I mean, that way you can, judge them on them.
Well, right, yeah. When you vaporize wave after wave of their minions, you feel like there's, we understand why we're going to do it anyway. We're gonna vaporize them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You meant well, but death to you.
I love how there was a mutant Targ. That was fun.
Oh my god! And I love the Zoolander reference. That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
And once again, just let me point out that you can tell the real fans, the reverent fans, by how sometimes they get irreverent, right?
Right.
They know where the lines are. They know where they can fudge a little bit, and they know where they can do this. Again, that's why I like the Lower Decks so much. They got the same vibe.
You guys don't hear the bridge sound, right? Tony? Kat,
I'm not hearing the bridge sound.
No. Who do you want to read the community question, though?
Yeah, I'll do it. Well, Captains, that leads us to our first community question for this week. What did you think of Star Trek Online's most recent episode? What do you think of Star Trek Online's most recent episode, Partisans? Let us know in the comments section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com or by replying to our social media posts on places like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
At this point, we're well into Star Trek Online's Year of Klingon, so let's take a quick look at the work Cryptic has done so far to freshen up some of the oldest Klingon content in the game. For starters, the art teams have brought their usual A-games this year. For starters, the art teams have brought their usual A-games to this year of Klingon Party. This is one of the first things you'll notice if you haven't created or played a Klingon character in a long time. Right from the character creation wizard, you see all new, more detailed costume and character models. It may not seem like a big deal, but as you play through the mission... It may not seem like a big deal, but as you play through mission after mission, you really appreciate it.
It's especially noticeable when you start encountering NPCs that have been around in the game for a long, long time. Like, Jimpock has never looked so unlikable. And Worf has just never looked so Michael Dorney. Then there are the old generic NPCs like Akar, Sorella, Adetpa, who are now modeled in amazing detail after their real voice actors, which I think is a bold move and really smart. I mean, for instance, Adetpa, Rekha
She looks like Rekha
Sharma
Sharma.
did a phenomenal,
She does. She's amazing.
Phenomenal job as Adetpa. I mean, her voiceover work was just... It really blew me away. I mean, when compared to a lot of the other voice acting we've seen in Star Trek Online, she's up there. She's really up there.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. No, she is the best one.
Pretty sure she wins. She's the best one.
Yeah, the bit in the, spoiler to everybody, on the snow planet with Lorca and wow, that one, wow, that, yeah, she threw herself into that one. Yeah,
she's amazing. Yeah, she wins. I love her.
Yeah.
The art updates certainly don't stop there either. The environment art team have updated a lot of old maps for the Year of Klingon. Some parts of Kronos' social zones have been updated, like the sky and the lighting. There's even a new Great Hall map. But you only see the inside during episode missions, for now at least. Right? The mission maps used in the tutorial and the Empire and Warzone story arcs have been remastered as well. These new maps just really go a long way towards improving the sense. They go a long way in pulling you out from realizing that this is a 10-year-old game.
The other revamps they've made to improve the really old game feel are the reworked Klingon mission arcs, Empire, and Warzone. In the Empire arc, the mission progressions aren't changed too drastically, but all the new art, voiceover work, and new cinematic cutscenes really stand out. The Khitomer and Rurapente ground maps are especially nicely done. Then you hit the Warzone arc, and there's some real change in progression, where the old content often laid out mission objectives to leave you feeling like you're just covering as much of the map mileage as possible. The revamps give you a much more streamlined progress. To that end, what used to be 3 different missions are now merged into one, called Mars, the Bringer of War. Instead of feeling like you're wasting time covering ground all the time, you're definitely moving the story ahead, and the story has some great improvements too.
For one thing, it's clear that the writers wanted to deep dive more into Klingon culture with the new revamps. As an example, they devoted an entirely new cutscene to the Klingon Akvo funeral rituals, which brings us back to those new cutscenes. This has to be one of the biggest improvements in the year of Klingon, with the much more expressive facial expressions. With the is that right? Much more?
Much more expressive.
With the more expressive.
All right.
I'd say more.
I'd say,
yeah. I
Okay.
cut adverbs myself from my copy. I snipped them.
With the more expressive facial animations and motion capture of Stowe's neck. Whoops, damn it. With the more expressive facial animations and motion capture of Stowe's new generation of cutscenes, the drama factor gets kicked way up. Whether the High Council is arguing and slinging insults, or Torg is betraying the Empire with a knife in the back, or Worf is gripped with mourning, these new Klingon story beats feel a lot more invested than they used to.
And there's still quite a bit to come from the rest of the year of Klingon, too. So we're definitely excited to see what comes next.
So, longtime players of the game may remember that it was a challenge to even do a Klingon 1 to 50 back in the day. Like, you couldn't do it.
Remember that?
Yeah. Like there was only enough story content to maybe go to 20 or 30, and you had to do a bunch of extra stuff just to keep leveling. It was painful. And when they finally had Klingon 1 to 50, like, yay! A lot like we're saying, a lot of it seems like they were really stretching it. It was a stretch to finish that leveling.
Yeah, that's definitely improved. I mean, now I started a new Klingon just to play the new content, right. Which, I might have a problem with starting new characters, but man, it was worth it because...
Define problem for us, Kat. Define, what would you say? Problem?
I have 42 characters.
Okay. It's not that you have a problem starting new characters. It's that the problem is you may do it too often. They all define problem.
Exactly.
Right. It's not flavors. You have a very sophisticated character palette. You said.
Right. Curse you, Delta recruits, for making me.
Right.
I had to have one of everything.
Getting you the habit into it. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, if you have not played the new Klingon content, or you don't have a Klingon character, I highly recommend that you do so. It is really, really well done.
I've been debating if I want to start live streaming.
Do it!
And do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday live stream and do these play through the Klingon content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may try to do that. Maybe.
Make a Klingon.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 or something.
Yeah, a tribute to Aaron Eisenberg. Play a Ferengi. Play Klingon.
Play a Ferengi, playing a Klingon. Yeah. Kat, why don't you take this next community question?
All right. And that leads us to our next community question. What has been the highlight of the year of Klingon content revamps for you? Tell us in our comments section. In all of our spaces, you can comment.
You know what? A for effort, Kat.
You know what? Effort. Yeah, that's
A for effort.
I'm it wasn't listed. I told you I sucked at ad-libbing.
You got to dip your toe into it, and I think you got your own foot wet. I think it worked. It was fine. It was good.
Tony, why don't you sweep us up?
And that's the news from Star Trek Gaming this week. Now let's look on screen for the newest episode in the Star Trek multiverse.
Cool.
Oh, wait, I don't have to stop. I'm not going to stop.
I know. I'm like, what's happening? I can't even.
It's a friggin' reflex.
It is a reflex. Because I want to say everybody hit stop too. Like that's what I want to say. I want to say it out loud. Everybody hit stop.
We had a discussion offline earlier this week, and we were like trying to count like what has it really been nearly 10 years of doing this stuff. And yeah, we like the calendar is wrong. There's lying. The numbers are wrong. We couldn't possibly have been doing this.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
10 years, man.
It's been almost 8 for me, and it's been almost 10 for you.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know.
You're a baby. It's still almost 2 for you, right?
Yes, I was just telling someone. I'm like, well, my cousin texted me. He's like, "You do a Star Trek podcast? What?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I go, "Well, actually, I've been doing it. Oh my God, it's almost been 2 years."
Right. And you were with the Armada before that for how long? Yeah.
Well, the Armada. I joined in 2014 when I started playing Stowe.
Right. So I mean, so like the KG veterans, all doing this for a long time.
I'm trying to find when James and I have it on the count. Oh, here it goes. So James Elliott, our anniversary is the 29th. Yeah, we started in 2011. So 9 years. 10
oh my
years
God!
So when we hit episode 500, we will have been doing this for about 10 years.
Oh my God!
I want to die.
No.
When we put it that way,
you could just say you're veteran podcaster.
Yeah, I do. Oh, I do.
You do. It's stripes, man. It is absolute stripes. Would you like? This is a thing. Yeah.
10 years, 500 episodes. Good God.
Wow.
And folks, he's still learning new tricks. This guy, he's still making up stuff as he goes.
Still on my toes. All right, on screen in 3.
Sorry.
What?
Panda says you can't die. You have all the logins.
That's true. That's true. All right, on screen in 3, 2. Computer.
Oh. I didn't change the title.
Oh, whoops.
Give me a second here. There you go.
Computer. Set Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 2, Far From Home, on screen.
You know when you've been stranded in deep space and there's timey-wimey stuff happening and you're missing people who are guiding you through a subspace anomaly and you can't find them, but they show up to rescue you at the end of the episode? No, we're not talking about the 5th season. Sorry. No, we're not talking about the 5th season of Voyager episode Timeless. We're talking about the 3rd season Discovery episode Far From Home. When we first find all the members of When we first find all of the members of the Discovery crew whose last name isn't Burnham, they are in the middle of crash landing on a planet that itself is in the process of falling apart. Then Detmer, Reese, Awoshikan, and Bryce, who are all part of the crew... Then Detmer, Reese, Awoshikan, and Bryce, who are also part of the crew, determine that everything is broken and someone needs to go shopping at the saloon down the street. Acting Captain Saru and official Ensign Tilly find that bars in the future are a lot more burny and punchy than in their time. Culber and Stamets and Reno and Non are also there, and they fix stuff and also bleed all over a Jeffries tube. Finally, Empress Commander Georgiou stretches her legs and elbows and fists as I love her, God. Finally, Empress Commander Georgiou stretches her legs and elbows and fists a bit as she also appears in the show. Many bad guys and even one good guy are permanently removed from the ranks of the living. However, the main bad guy, Zara. However, the main bad guy, Zara, is still alive and useful to show writers who might need an antagonist later. And just when you think the parasitic ice is going to eat your ship, a tractor beam saves the day. Aww.
Right.
There's a lot of good Star Trek tropes in this episode, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Well, before we jump in, let's go through some statistics. This episode was written by Anthony Marinville, Chris Silvestri, Brandon Schultz, and directed by Olatunde Onsunsami. It first premiered on Thursday, October 15th, 2020.
I didn't change any of that stuff.
You did not change any of that stuff.
No, you just asked me to write the blurb. You didn't ask me to go.
Oh, I usually do that. I'm sorry. I was having technical problems. But I think it was still directed by, I don't know if it was written by the same folks.
Yeah. The director is the same.
Yeah, the director is the same.
Gosh damn. This is a movie. Gosh damn.
Do you want to make another long sound so you know that this is all going to get cut here?
Please don't do that.
Mine's about 3 octaves lower than his. So I'm not going to break any wine glasses with mine.
All right. Well, yeah. IMDb always has like writers like Gene Roddenberry on here. Which I don't know why.
Right, because
legitimately should credit the guy, and also copyright.
there you go.
He gets royalties, or his estate does.
Well, yeah. See, one of these days we're gonna open that can's gonna be cracked open. One of these days, I would like to know what exactly went where.
I would too. Oh my God.
I'd be fascinated to find out what all happened.
What are you saying? What are you talking about?
Oh, we're just talking about
Copyright.
yeah. What Gene had, what Majel wound up with, and what Rod, all that mix, and how they fought with Paramount and Viacom and National Amusements and nerds, law nerds like us.
I want to read the deal. I want it. I want to see what happened. I wonder if the probate records are somewhere.
Hold on. All right, Captains, let's talk about some statistics. First up, this episode aired originally on Thursday, October 22nd. This is another episode directed by Olatunde Onsunsami. All right, let's jump right in. Kat, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your experience watching this episode? What was your favorite moment?
Anything with Jet Reno. God bless her. I love her. She is hilarious. I felt bad for Jean that was cleaning up the mess of what's his name? Leland's goo. She's like, my name's Jean. She's like, I already forgot that. I love it. But also because Tig Notaro, she had back surgery, so probably filming this stuff was really hard on her. Yes, that's why she had to sit. She in real life had back surgery, and props to her. She did amazing. And she probably was on drugs for it.
That makes that whole thing so much better even.
I know,
I
because
like
she has had a lot of health problems, but yes, she had to have back surgery. Props to her. Yes, she fully, even if she had to sit in her scenes, she did a great job.
That is crazy. That's what an interesting bit of a factoid there. Wow.
Yes, so Tig Notaro wins my favorite all the moments. Although Tilly and Saru, how sweet was that? That was adorable. I kind of got a little emotional, That was really nice aw. Was cute.
So, I everything about Tilly was accurate, right? Up until the moment where Saru tells her to hide behind the bar when things were about to go down. Mm-hmm. And I found that odd because every instance where Tilly is faced with combat, she rises up to the challenge. I mean, I think of season 1 when she goes on the Discovery's sister ship, and she's the one who tells the Klingon, "Step out of the shadows."
Yeah.
Right? And then later in season 2 when she's in the mycelial network and
with her Type 3 phaser, which is better than the Type 2 or the Type 1.
And I think that's important for her. And I think that's very important for her character to show that juxtaposition that, she can be sweet and saccharine and, a freshman and really eager. But when things are ready to go down and the flame is getting hot, she's ready.
That's right. And the other 2 examples you're pointing out what did she have that she didn't have this time? A gun.
A weapon? Yeah.
Saru has his 80-mile-an-hour goat hooves, and Georgiou is, she's Crouching Tiger or Hidden Dragon. Which one is she? I forget which one she is.
She's all of that.
She's maybe both of them.
Yes.
Yeah. So Saru's like, you're unarmed at this point. Just hop behind the bar.
I don't think that they were unarmed because
they were.
I thought she had a phaser.
Yeah, no, they have a phaser on because when they first walk into the bar, and there's that moment of tenseness,
and
he reaches for his waist.
And they got disarmed by the bad guys.
Oh, that's right.
Because they were busy being held hostage.
I see.
Right.
Yes. So Saru's like, no, and I want to point out two things that we've had this discussion so far that I really, really like. We've all talked about how we enjoy the character interactions between the different ensemble members of the cast, and we're all talking about the different character motivations of the different people and how they're interacting with their environment and each other. And guess what was missing from the first episode that we got in this one? All of that. So yeah, like, this is the show they should have aired first.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah. What was your least favorite, Kat?
I mean, I don't know. I think Stamets up in the Jeffries tube was a bit of overkill, but I don't know that I hated it because, props to Stamets because Jet Reno for sure couldn't go up there. So I don't know. I didn't really nothing really like, I absolutely hate. I thought it was good to see what the Discovery crew had been up to, and man, I love Giorgio too.
See?
Any thematic takeaways? Just overall, reaction to the episode?
I thought, the ending when Michael comes in is, I think it was a feel good at the end. I don't know. I feel like I need to watch it a couple more times because maybe when you watch it the first time, you get overwhelmed by the emotions, and the next time is like, it's not as kind of cool as I thought it was the first time around. Because it's very, the production is so beautiful, and but every time where you're like, oh, now there's a fight scene, it's always like, oh, when's the next fight scene? I hate that it has to be like that. I wish it would be more on the ship and less of the fight scenes.
It's funny you say that because so I felt that this episode was like an episode of TNG, except I don't want to say on steroids because this is just the nature of filmmaking in 2020, moving into 2021. So I felt like this was I was watching a classic TNG episode where there's a plot happening on the ship, and then there's a plot happening on an away mission. And you've even got Jeffries tubes. You've got, somebody stuck doing something crazy in a Jeffries tube. You've then got the conflict happening for the away mission, and everything was just amped up for 2020. And I liked that. I enjoyed this experience. Was it a deep story? I don't know.
No.
I don't think so. No, it wasn't. There wasn't any major takeaways.
We need the thing. Go get the thing. Oh no, someone's not letting us get the thing.
Right. But I think that this episode really shined was outside of the story and outside of the plot a little bit. Yes, it definitely moved things along, but the visual effects they rival the 2009 Star Trek Kelvin Universe films. They rival Into Darkness. They rival Star Trek Beyond. The budget for this show must obviously be just astronomical. And I appreciate that for television, especially for Star Trek. I think we lacked a little bit of that wow factor in being in space from the last couple of seasons, and I feel like we're getting a little more of that wow factor now. But you clearly they milked Iceland for everything it was worth. Like they definitely milked Iceland for everything it was worth. And I thought that the directing was nuanced. I really did. There was this moment where Detmer gets she gets to the dermal regenerator, and then she's still fuzzy, and she starts to walk out, and the camera there's this cinematography choreography that happens as she's walking out. And
Detmer.
Yeah, and Detmer's walking out of sickbay, and Colder's walking in, and there's this beautiful cinematic dance that happens.
They're doing all the camera tricks season
Yeah.
between Burnham getting high in the last episode and the concussion thing this episode. Yeah, I mean, I think they're visually. I mean, I don't think anyone can argue that this is a beautiful looking show, and the fact that they're sort of trying different weird camera things too to go along with it. It is a visually unique show. I really do think that it doesn't look like anything else on TV. I don't think.
No, I agree.
Yeah, they are really making a unique visual language for the show, a lot like TNG did back in the day with the hotel lobby and the pastel L cars, and they're making a visual language that people will turn it on and go, "Oh, that's Star Trek." Just like listening to Eddie Van Halen is, "Oh yeah, that's Eddie Van Halen." I mean, they're making a language that your eyes understand. I agree with that.
I think, and Jake was saying in the chat that the crash scene, like the intro, when Saru, and you're just like, wait, what's happening? You know, my God, you know, where then they crash through the thing and go to the other thing. You're like, whoa.
Right. When they watched the Voyager episode and said, "Oh, we can do better than that. It's 20 years later." Like it's 20 years. Let's do that again, only updated.
Right.
Yeah.
This is hypercritical, but this is more nuanced. What I did feel is that the bridge is too big.
The bridge has always been too big.
No,
it's big.
It's way too big.
Yeah, this bridge particularly is big, like compared to past bridges, right? Like every other bridge and every other series.
It's
of Star
stupid
Trek.
big.
This one is so wide that I feel like the camera almost struggles to get everybody in frame, and then let's say they get people in frame, they're itty bitty people, and you can't really see their faces. You know,
it's stupid big. Yeah.
So I feel like the size of the bridge kind of pulls us away every once in a while. Like there were these during that crash, for instance. You know, the camera was trying to get everybody, and it's hard when the bridge is so big.
And you'll notice if you remember the Enterprise bridge from last season, it's smaller. I mean, it's still bigger than the original one. It's still, I mean, I think they know that, and they've shrunk the Enterprise bridge appropriately.
Yeah,
but visually, like I said, visually they've got their own mark that they're making on this, and it becomes clear as you, I think, watch this episode that they are, like you're saying, trying to get people on the bridge, trying to get people. They really need to do that, like focus on the people. That's what makes this episode better than the last one. It's
the two guys, the tactical officer and the con officer. I
they're
don't
starting to be alive.
ever having that many lines.
Yeah, Bryce and now I can't remember Reese. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Awoshikun. She's great. I mean, of course, she was great in New Eden too. But I'm worried about Detmer. Please, Detmer, be okay. I really like her. I don't want her to be like Ariam.
Right. Well, somebody's gonna die, right? I mean,
you think
according to the rules of television, one of them's gonna die. But they're being smarter about it.
Garbage bag behind you.
Yeah. But they're being smarter about it this season by letting you see little bits and pieces of them and getting to know their personality a little bit before they off them.
Yes.
You know, it'll hurt. It'll hurt when they finally off
like
them,
that much more. If they give us backstory on Detmer next episode, she's gonna die. Oh my God! Please don't let it be Detmer.
Yeah. Start seeing pictures of her and her.
Yes.
Right.
Or like, what happened after the Battle of the Binaries.
Right. Somebody catches up to her in the hallway and says, "Hey, remember that thing you told me about?" And then we flash back to Colorado or whatever.
Don't do that, right? I hope
please don't do that.
Not that I don't hope they don't kill her. Not that I don't hope they kill her.
Yeah, you're getting way negative, sir.
Yeah,
way too many.
Triple negative. It won't bother me if she does die. It will bother me if they set it up the way they set up Arian. That just here's what I'm seeing in these two episodes is a maturity in the creative process. And it's probably early. It's a little early to say. And we still have weeks of episodes to get through. But they're just in these little snippets of information. I said this last week about Sonequa Martin Green's performance and her craftsmanship, and then even Olatunde Onsunsami. That one moment that I was talking about earlier, the cinematic dance, that was just gorgeous, man. That was just a level of cinematography that we haven't seen before, and was nuanced, and you may not have even noticed it, but now you're gonna watch it again and you're gonna be like, oh damn, that was cool.
they, and I like your comment about them. This looked like a TOS/TNG episode where there's a ship thing, and there's even a bar fight. I mean, they're in a bar.
Yeah.
So I mean, if this was a good episode, right? There was a beginning and a middle and an end. There's an A and a B plot. You knew it. There were people contributing to the solutions. There were people working around. There was the big twist when Giorgio walked in. I mean, they had all the pieces together for a good episode of television. And then it was a Star Trek episode because of the visuals and the story and the characters and the laser guns and all that other kind of stuff. But they broke it down to make it a good hour of TV. Which is something that I think has been missing. Like for the first episode, like we have to show you the world. There's an objective we have to accomplish with this show. Stop that. Stop it. Just don't do that anymore. Make a good show and then fit those pieces into it. And I think they did that in this episode, and they didn't do it in the last one.
So you liked this episode, Tony?
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead. I can just say yes. I don't have to qualify that at all. This was a good episode. I don't think there was very much wrong with it. I have quibbles, but I'm not even worried about talking about them because they were just quibbles. This was a good episode.
Yeah. And Zara, that villain,
good bad guy. I'm glad he's not dead.
Here's another thing about what they seem to be doing now is if they're gonna have these like occasional villains that come in and out, like past versions of Star Trek. I hated this guy, and this guy did a great. Excellent job setting up this character. This guy was like Negan from The Walking Dead. You love to hate him. He was he wasn't like a twirling his mustache. He had substance.
This is why I was so mad last week about they killed off every bad guy with a speaking part last week, right?
Right.
You learn about the problems with this new future through the people who are operating in it.
Yeah,
that's how you find out what the challenges are. That's why you find out who the quote bad guys are, because they're the one taking advantage of the power vacuum because the Federation's gone, the technology gap because there's no dilithium anymore, blah blah blah. You learn about it through the villains. Well, they killed everybody in the last episode. They let this guy go. So he'll be back to teach them about the new world later on in a later episode when he comes out of the blue and steps from behind the curtain with his new laser gun.
Because he's upset.
I hated everything about that guy, including a mullet.
Good.
I know mullets are the wave of the future in hairstyles. I said that to Z.
You're in a dystopia, right?
No offense,
you're in a dystopia when the mullet is the primary haircut.
Right.
Oh my God, what hellscape future is this? We've come out of the time warp into a mullet land.
I just loved how he just emanated like creepy, like poor Tilly. She was just like, oh my God, this guy, oh crap.
And that's I like to play villains. Like if I ever get a chance to play a villain in theater, I really do enjoy it. But it's hard to be that level of just he was evil. Like there's a difference between a bad guy and then just you are a bad human being. And this actor, man, he just I don't know where he came from. I don't know where this guy's from. Just nailed it.
So I want you to go from a scale from Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards down to Pakled from season 2 of Star Trek.
Yeah.
All right, where are we on that villain scale? We're closer to Hans
Negan.
Landa.
Closer to Hans. Yeah. I'd say like a Negan because what's his face who plays Negan on Walking Dead is great. The problem with Negan's story, and I digress here, is that The Walking Dead pulled that, was playing that instrument for way too long. They were holding that note way too long, and then Negan got boring. So hopefully they don't have that mistake with this actor.
This guy will come in. This guy will come in and out.
I hope so. I hope he doesn't become the Negan of what Walking Dead was for, because that just got boring and that got old.
He can't handle being the bad guy in this story, but he'll be good to teach them about the new world every once in a while as they encounter it from time to time. So good job not killing this guy. Way to be. Yeah.
So other than that, Tony, did you have any favorite moments? Do you want to go into a little detail?
No, I'm going with the Jet Reno. Just bring in more Tig Notaro. Just bring in more Tig.
That was just solid.
I
don't know, man. I'm on drugs.
She just sort of breaks the spell, right? It's like, everyone's sort of like, oh my God, the crystals are deteriorating and the shields are failing. She's like, Why are you complaining to me about this? This just fix it. This is not a what, you know.
I love it. And she's like, okay, Stamets, let's do this. She's like, well, you're a miserable bastard, so I'm just going to tag along.
Agreed.
I think it's safe to sweep out. Tony, why don't you sweep us up?
Well, that wraps up this week's On Screen for Star Trek Discovery. Now let's open hailing frequencies and see what's incoming.
All right. And again, captains, if we're not responding to you on places like Facebook or YouTube, it's because Restream's chat is broken. And so I can't see. Restream does a really nice job of putting it all together in one window for me where it compiles it. But that's broken for some reason. So Kat's got an eye on the chat on Twitch. So if you want to switch over to Twitch, you're welcome to do that. We're on twitch.tv/Priority1. Priority 1, right? Not Priority 1 Pod?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, Panda says we have a new system of villainy, the Pakled/Hansa spectrum of villainy.
I think it works. I think it really works. I think it really does to get both ends of the line there.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. I'm going to go. Feedback in 3, 2. Well, captains, hailing frequencies are now open, and we're ready to receive all of your incoming messages.
Last week, our community question was, who do you think Discovery's big bad will be?
From Facebook, Jay Hurd writes in and says, I think the big bad's going to be a unified Vulcan, Romulan, Neo-Star Empire. It works so well. It works so well. Okay, here we go. Ooh, there. All right. Now we've all done it. And
can we just add some ambiance to your reading, Tony?
You can, but I mean, I had a steam going the whole bit, and it stopped, and then it started, and it stopped, and then, ooh.
You should have just kept going and let us. Ooh.
It works so well. Burnham's connection to Spock's later unification efforts, and modern Trek's fixation with Romulan villains. Even the Burn event works well, as dilithium is used just for matter-antimatter warp engines. What group do we know who famously don't use matter-antimatter power for their warp engines? Why, that would be the Romulans with their singularity drives. In one fell swoop, a Romulan extremist, maybe a descendant group of the Romulan rebirth movement, could have crippled their greatest historical foe in the Federation and ensured a future path to glory with a new resurgent empire by igniting the Burn.
All right, Jay Hurd, you should be hired by the team over at Discovery, I think. I think that's like legit some deep thinking there. I like that idea.
So yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, and one thing that I'm very concerned about in this season of Discovery is that pretty clearly the whole no dilithium thing is going to be the allegory for like carbon stuff to current day stuff. Trying to get off oil and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that's what they're going for. I am slightly concerned that they may. What I was talking about earlier with the episode has a mission and the story and the fun gets sacrificed to the episode's mission. I'm worried that that's going to happen. So that whoever the big bad guy is, like the personification of the villain, like I'm saying, they're going to come out pretty heavy-handed, like, haha, I don't need anything anymore. I don't use that. So, but this is a good vehicle for that, right? This idea is a good vehicle. I held a singularity drive out from a Romulan warbird, and I decided, screw you guys, I don't need you. Right. So, good work. It could work.
From Twitter, Damian Wilkinson replied, I think the big bad is going to be the fact that the Federation is broken, showing general lawlessness with the Discovery crew flying in to be a guiding light back to the Federation way of life. Probably won't be a big bad like the Borg or Romulans till Starfleet is working again.
I gotta say something on this one here, too. The whole Federation as Savior thing was done so much better in this episode, too. Someone died because they thought that the Federation was coming back to save them. That is a much better illustration of how much that works in this world than some dude with a flag in an office.
Yeah.
The stakes are higher. The cost was just explicit right in front of your face. Very good points.
From Facebook, David Collins responded, Zara's fate was left open, so he's definitely coming back with a grudge to settle. Something's obviously up with Detmer. Could be Control isn't quite finished yet. But maybe this season will be more episodic and they'll have a new enemy to overcome each time. Oh.
total Firefly thing. Yeah, could be. They could go Firefly model, sure.
All right, and we'll just merge closing and feedback. Well, that wraps up episode 484 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcasts.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all and share them with your friends.
And we can't... Oh, excuse me. Man, my throat's scratchy because the weather changed. Awesome. And we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like David K. Rutley, Peter Archibald, Gerald Bosch, Joshua Selig, and our newest patron, Frank C. Thanks so much for joining the Patreon family.
Another A for... yeah.
Just on the fly, even.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got memories today.
And here's a reminder of our community question for this week. What did you think of Star Trek on 2? Yeah. And here's a reminder of our 2 community questions this week. And here's a reminder of our community questions for this week. What did you think of Star Trek Online's featured episode Partisans? And what's been the highlight of the year of Klingon content? And what's been the highlight of the year of Klingon content revamps for you?
Captains, it's important that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, Anthony, Thomas, me, plus the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there's something for all Star Trek Online players, whether you're new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you... Oh, whoops. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Captains, during these difficult times, we understand that a financial contribution may not be in the cards, but we are incredibly humbled by the continued support of those of you who can. So, if you find value in this production and want some extra perks, check us out over at patreon.com/PriorityOne.
And don't forget to tune in to Priority One Productions' Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, Brandon, William, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. Thanks to our producer, Jake, and associate producers, Shane and Thomas. Together, they help us organize and write up our summary of the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. Thanks to our social media manager, Anthony. Thanks to our graphic artists, Henry and Jason. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners. Because without your...
You almost got there. You're so close.
But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners. Because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. All right, I'm going to...
We're not going to hit stop. You are.
I know.
That's what you're going to do.
I'm going to take a moment here and hit stop. Cool. So don't close your Chrome windows, because...
I just saw the little thingy go recording, uploading. It just switched.
Yes,
So
cool.
it's been uploading this whole time and just finished.
Awesome.
Oh, mine says it's uploading now. So
Good.
fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
fingers crossed. Do not close Chrome. Do not close that tab. What I
Okay.
want to do before we go is I want to do an unboxing, one more unboxing of the next ship, and to take a look at what Eagle Moss sent. And
Oh,
maybe we
yeah.
got to do a little recording of it. So give me a second. Compliment yourself.
Okay.
I wonder what he got. Is it the Klingon ship, or is
I don't know, but I have a ship I have not unboxed too.
Well, where's yours?
downstairs.
Well, you should get it.
Well, we're doing this unboxing. Maybe next
Okay,
week.
next week. Next week it's
Next
Cat's
week we're
turn.
doing what?
The unboxing of the ship I ordered.
Oh, do you want to do it?
No, I'm like, we could see which one you got. I know which one I got.
Right. It's not a surprise for her because she
I'm
knows.
like, I mean, I did take it out of the Amazon box or the shipping box, but it's not out
That
of
doesn't-
the
Yeah, that doesn't count.
out of the other box.
Right.
Check Discord.
Check Discord.
Okay.
More to Cat.
Oh,
Right.
not us. We
Okay.
don't have to check Discord,
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't have.
But I-
Oh, okay.
but I could if I wanted to.
All right, so we're gonna do an alien ship this week.
Ooh.
And since we talked about Klingons, I figured we'll open up
Bortasku.
IKS Bortasku.
Yes.
Let us
Nuke neck.
Nuke neck.
Oh, that looks so awesome. Very cool. It's kind of reflecty, but yeah.
The back. Okay.
Very cool.
Open up the Bortasku.
I really do like this ship.
What, the Bortasku?
Yeah, and I also, if you play Star Trek Online, the uniforms are awesome, and those are the best boots. If you get the variants, you should get those boots because the Bortasku boots are the best.
So we've got a
True Star Trek Online Endgame.
a magazine that's got information about the Bortasku.
Nice. Very Klingon looking, very intimidating. If you were flying up against that ship in space, that'd be scary.
You know, all three of those, command ships or whatever, they all are really good evolutions, right? The Enterprise F, the Bortasku, and I forget what the Romulan one is. But they're all
it's
good.
the tactical warbird.
Right. They're all good evolutions of the big bad ships you saw on screen, the Negvar and the Dideridex and the
Oh, this is
and the
cool.
Enterprise
They've
E.
They definitely talk about, design
Concept art.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Concept
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like a hammerhead shark.
Right. Yeah, it does.
Well, it's the Negvar. I mean, it's like this is what had happened
Mhm.
if you let the Negvar run wild. You just give it a little space to roam. That's what it'd wind up looking like.
Wow, this thing's heavy. Holy crap. All right, so, there is a lot of detail in this. Holy crap. All right, so let me first...
Ooh, nice.
How big is that? That's like
That's
Oh,
good
okay.
size.
that's a good size. Is that yeah?
I mean, that's
really
as big
small.
as your hand,
So
though.
this is, by comparison to my hand, yeah. It's about
Wow.
That's pretty. And that's like the little ones.
Yeah, these are the little ones.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, they're really, really
Wow.
that's good looking.
So get a load of this side, though. Look at this.
Ooh.
Look at the space.
That's really cool.
For a teeny little model, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Jason Smith says,
Look
yep,
at
that's
the,
a nice ship. That's really cool looking.
Come on, focus. You can see the different coloring of like the wings, like you see
Yeah.
you see how
Like-
the shade changes a little bit.
I'd like to say that the paint details are very sharp and clear, but it's not. We're gonna blame your camera though. We're gonna blame your camera.
Oh, no, that's clear. That's
Look at
It was for
Nice.
a second. It was
Oh,
for a
okay.
second.
the look at the Bursard collectors. However you pronounce that stupid word. I hate it.
I think it's Bassard collectors, but
I hate it because I think a long time ago I said it wrong, and somebody who listened to the show was like, "This guy doesn't belong in podcasting, especially about Star Trek." I was like, "It's one word, dude. Calm down." Yeah. So
Wow. I love it. That looks really cool.
do you have something with print? Do you have? Oh, that's work. Yeah, that's working.
Oh, that works.
Yeah, that worked. Out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
That's amazing.
It's good looking.
Very
Ship.
cool. Yeah, that's a really cool looking ship.
unsolicited ship pics.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good luck finding a filter that'll catch that.
Yeah, this is yo, you can hurt somebody with this. This is like
It's
legit-
heavy. It looks heavy. It looks heavy.
It's heavy, and I mean, yeah, the details are just absolutely stunning. I mean, you know, the die-cast model itself is just so high definition. Like, I mean, you can't rival this. I mean, there's like little parts in this, little tiny, like, look at the top of the. Look at that. Look how small that is.
Oh.
And it just goes like into.
That's beautiful. We're looking at the butt.
That's a nice
butt
aft.
of the ship.
Show me that aft.
Yeah, well, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be on the front end because that's where all the guns are. Yeah, that's not good. You don't want to be there. You don't want to see that.
Look at it, the little windows and everything, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's a good looking ship. Panda, dat aft though.
Dead aft. Yeah. Dead aft.
Nice.
This is a really good. This is a good model, solid model. All right. Crap, I don't know how this is going.
Well, reboxing is not nearly as fun as unboxing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might not be good radio. It might not be good radio.
And in this box also comes another tier 6 coupon.
Oh, nice. For 50% off?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's cool too. All right. Let's do you guys have that document up? The email? That way we can record our
No.
But I can.
Probably find it.
Oh my god, I have 5,000 emails.
Okay, here we go. All right.
What is that?
You hear music? What the hell is that music?
I don't know.
That's my phone.
Oh, is somebody rocking out?
Take the Nerf gun. Shoot him with the Nerf gun. Yes.
Wow.
I can't hear you. You muted yourself.
Man, the music the kids listen to these days.
Yo, Tony's just a few inches away from a mullet. You're muted. You're muted. You muted your mic.
What?
Listening to it on headphones, which means that he's going to damage his eardrums in
My
some form.
God, that was
That was on headphones?
Jesus.
Oh, no. You're like, don't sit so close to the TV, please. But,
Right,
oh
yeah.
my God.
All right, are you guys?
I mean,
that
Yeti's a
document?
very sensitive mic, though, right? I mean, it does pick up everything. So,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All right, did you guys find it? You guys good?
Yes.
Who's gonna talk about what? Pick your bullet point.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody
What do you want me to say?
I can take exclusivity this time.
All right, yeah, take exclusivity. All
All
right,
right, what do you want me to take?
Or we just start fresh?
Hmm?
We just mention it, or how are we gonna
We'll do
talk about it?
conversationally. We'll talk about like the board Toscu and you know.
Okay.
So we'll go. I guess at that moment there should be a bullet point that we say, and you pick a bullet point. So Kat, which bullet point are you doing?
She's doing
Exclusivity.
All right. So Tony, you pick whatever you want.
Okay.
So we're gonna record in 5, 4, 3, 2. Captains, before we move on to gaming news this week, we need to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Eagle Moss, the official Star Trek Online Starship Collection. Captains, before we move into Star Trek gaming, we need to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Eagle Moss, and their hero collection of official Star Trek Online models. Captains, we just did an unboxing on air of the IKS Bortascu, and if there was one takeaway from everyone's reaction was how stunning in detail these models are. These models are die cast. They come out of a mold. They are painted all the same, but the nuance and the detail to each section of the ship. You have negative space. You have Bursard collectors that are translucent. These little details that really help bring these ships to life. And this ship is maybe, the size of, it fits in the palm of my hand. So you figure about
just barely
5 to 6 inches, just barely. But even though it's not this massive, huge model, the detail throughout this entire ship is absolutely gorgeous. And anyone, any Klingon, any warrior would be bringing honor to their house should they bring this ship home. I'll turn it over to you.
I think that speaks to the design exclusivity that they have with Star Trek Online, because weren't these taken from like the full 3D models and all of the information they have available via the game, and Eagle Moss has the exclusive right to produce these models. So you're not going to get this quality from any other, manufacturer out there, because they're the ones who have the rights to it. And it shows, because what you were just showing on that Bortoscu is beautiful. I mean, I can't wait to see that ship.
Right. And that exclusivity applies not only to the unique Bortoscu, but we've also talked about the USS Buran, which is in Star Trek Online. We've also got the Chimera, which is a Star Trek Online origin ship. That's one that's exclusive to the game. That's available too. You can also pre-order the USS Pathfinder and the Jem'Hadar Vanguard carrier, and also available right now is the Romulan Vastam class command warbird. So these 6 unique ships that you will only find in Star Trek Online, you can also only get from Eagle Moss.
Yeah, and they have the Gagarin too, which is amazing. I love the Chimera though. How cool is that ship? It looks awesome, and you just know it's Captain Nog, and man, yeah, it just hits your heartstrings that you'd want that ship.
So, captains, because Eagle Moss has graciously sponsored our shows, we are extending that. So, captains, Eagle Moss is also offering an exclusive discount to Priority One listeners. You get to save 10% off of your purchase. That also includes free shipping. And these ships start at just $29.95. So, couple that with 10% off, free shipping. I mean, this is just a no-brainer. Add this to your Star Trek collection. These ships are high-quality die-cast models that you won't find anywhere else. So again, that promo code is priority10, so the word priority and the numbers 1 and 0, to save 10% on your next purchase that also happens to have free shipping. So thank you to Eagle Moss for sponsoring our show, and to Star Trek Online for working in tandem with Eagle Moss to bring these ships to life. Okay, stop. Cool.
It's uploading my recording. It's at 89%, and now it's done.
Awesome.
My recording's uploaded.
Right.
Mine's not done, and it still says 0%.
Your dog ate your internet.
I'm not sure what happened.
I bet your dog ate your internet.
All right, keep it.
I'll keep it open.
All right,
But-
so we'll figure it out off air. Well, captains, that's it for this episode of Priority One Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the live stream. I'm sorry that I couldn't keep an eye on the chat. There's an issue with Restream tonight, and hopefully we'll get it fixed for next week. We gotta submit a ticket. Until then, actually, so next week is election day already, right? Yeah, it's election day. It's election night. We may push the show a day, so be aware. Follow us on social media if we have the opportunity to. And we're all, we all have our schedules. I haven't talked about it because it just dawned on me that next week's election night. So we may want to push the show to the 4th. So just keep an eye on our social media channels for that. And again, if you haven't already, vote. Please vote. And here's to a brighter future. All right, captains, until next week, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
identified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.